So I hope everybody is well today. And I just wanted to wish everybody who celebrates this new year, the one just started, I think on the 13th, maybe Monday, and the Singali New Year and Thai and some other countries as well, Buddhist calendar. And so obviously the start of the Visakha month. And we have coming up is Vesak, which is named after Vesak, Sanskrit Pali word, the fourth lunar month of the year. And so we'll have a little chat about that for one or two classes in a couple of weeks' time. I know there are some places that are doing celebrations today. I think Melbourne, Victoria is doing the celebration today, and I'm not sure when the Sydney one is. So I think they've given up on me traveling. They asked me to come last year and the year before and so on. So last year I provided a recorded prayers, about 5 minutes. Don't know if they used it. Don't know if they used it in Vietnam as well. But yeah, I don't know when it is in Sydney this year. So yeah, Happy New Year. Again, we always have Happy New Year's in Buddhism. The solar one, the lunar one, the Buddhist calendar. So maybe some other ones too. Maybe we can, because we're open-minded, we can fit into all other cultures and all other traditions. That's a teaching, by the way. A bit of a hidden teaching, could be teaching. All right, so a good time to reflect, as per usual, for special days. See what it is in the last year, for instance, that you have been doing that you shouldn't have been doing. But don't grasp at it, but recognize it and work to purify it, have some positive regret and some resolve, not some resolve, but strong resolve to not engage in such things again. And think about the Buddha, your teachers, bodhisattvas, and so on, higher beings, as you do this practice of purification, because we ourselves, maybe we can trick ourselves too easily. So if we are in front, even if it's imagined, in front of the Buddha, I don't think we're going to trick ourselves as much. I say that half in jest, but half true, half serious. And then, of course, engage in the practice. And you can engage in the practice with visualization, as I've taught you before, or you can just imagine the purification. And, you can do mantras, you can do prayers, you can do it silently, no problem. Okay. The shortest repentance prayer that I know about, we actually chant it every week. It's in the 7-limb practice, and it's the, what is it? Well, we'll get to it. I think it's the third one. I regret and da 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 da. Okay, so it's the shortest one. You can do that prayer, or you can do some longer ones. I know a few. I know one very long one, and I know a medium length one as well. So you can ask me if you want me to repeat them. I think I've mentioned them to you before. And so, and also you can think, what did I do that was good in the last year? And then you can continue to do this good, virtuous actions of the mind, the body, and the speech, and improve upon them, increase them, increase the times that you engage in these good actions, and look after your mind. See how much you've looked after your mind in the last year, and then you can say, okay, I can do better than that, and then resolve to do better than that. It's quite simple practice. A bit difficult sometimes because our concentration is a little bit fragmented on occasions, but actually quite simple practice. You just be honest to yourself. What can be more simple than that? What can be more natural, actually, than being honest to ourselves? Though over so many lifetimes we haven't been. So that's the reason why we have to put it into practice, make the effort. And the new year, like I said, reflect on things, and that's all really. Let's do some chanting and look out for that prayer. Okay. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tatayampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tatayampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tatayampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess and repent all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddhist way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam gati gati para samgati buddhisoha. Tayatam gati para samgati buddhisoha. Tayatam gati para samgati buddhisoha. So now get yourself comfortable enough for some meditation. So let's briefly release the tension from the body. We'll start from the bottom and work our way to the top. So I won't give as much detail as I have in the last few weeks. Release the tension from all around your feet. And your lower legs. All around your knees. And your upper legs. All around your midsection. Your lower abdomen, your sides, and your lower back. Further up your abdomen, up your sides, and to the center of your back. and your chest, around to your upper back, in between the neck and the shoulders, upper trap muscles, and your shoulders, and all the way down your arms to the tips of your fingers. And from all around your neck, and the back and sides of your head, and all around your face. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw or frowning. Remember that if we have a slight smile on our face, pleasant face, we're only using 16 muscles. But if we have a frown, sort of like angry face, then we're actually using 64 muscles. It's much more relaxing when we have a pleasant face. Release, and then briefly scan your body from the bottom to the top again. And if you find there's any leftover tension, then release it. Now bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially. And follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose all the way into your lungs. And then back out your nose again. Breathing in and breathing out. Just focusing on the feeling of the breath. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 up to 10. 1 in breath, 1 out breath is 1, and so on. And if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So if any thoughts arise or mental activity arises, don't cling to it or grasp at it or try to force it away either or deny it. But simply and naturally let it go as you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind becomes dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little by refocusing onto the breath more brightly. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. And now we can switch techniques to the loving kindness meditation, Metta Bhavana. And let's radiate this loving kindness, fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. Utilize the visualization technique of filling your whole being with the white light. Visualize that you are filling your whole body with the white light, and realize actually what we are doing is filling our mind with the white light, isn't it? Utilizing the image of the body that we create or visualize in our mind. And then utilizing our feelings, so we feel this loving kindness and friendship and so on. We have a faith, trust, and belief in this practice. And as we do this practice, you're kind of utilizing words too, mentally. For instance, you may say, oh, I fill my whole being with the white light. Now I extend to my loved ones. Even just that thought. We're always having these four activities of mind, sentient being. Always having images in the mind, having what you can call mental chatter, talking to ourselves mentally, thinking to ourselves. Always having some form of belief, some sort of belief, and feelings. Mental sensations. So fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards, radiating this white light from your heart center, entering into the heart centers of your loved ones, family and friends, and filling them with the universal loving kindness. And now you can also include strangers, do likewise. And even those we regard as enemies, those we find difficult. May all of these beings have happiness, be free from suffering, and be peaceful. Fill them with the universal loving kindness. So for those who behave so bad, you can imagine and visualize that they are now very kind and peaceful. They have regret for engaging in negative actions. They resolve not to do it again. That they take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And now we can extend this loving kindness to all living beings, not just humans. Initially around our immediate area. So all of the living beings that live on the land, under the land, in the waters, fly through the air. The ones that are born from wombs or eggs or moisture or through transformation, whether you know about them or not. Radiate this loving kindness to them. And now gradually further and further distance-wise from your immediate area now throughout your whole state or county. And all of the states and counties throughout your country. And all of the countries and oceans and so on throughout the planet, throughout the world, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere, and beyond this planet, throughout the whole solar system. And all of the solar systems throughout the galaxy. And all of the galaxies throughout the universe. Until your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space. This loving kindness that is initiated in your own mind, your own heart, and radiated outwards is now measureless, immeasurable, unlimited. And now let's do the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious body, Chitta, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Okay, so now we're up to conclusions. I said one or two, but actually I decided that there'll be three, and hopefully not more than that, but just to remind you of what it is we've spoken about, and remind you as well that you can review the classes so easily on the YouTube channel. Back to when we started the commentary on this article. Meditation and its benefits, getting to know your mind. So, yeah, I don't know how long we've been going for. A few months, maybe. So, actually, we started the commentary November. I think before that would have been some introductions. I've written here the dates on the side of each paragraph. And so 8th of November. So actually that's, well, it's going on half a year. In fact, it would be half a year because we had some, I would have read it to you, mentioned a few things about it. So that's twice as long as I thought we'd been going for. So that's good. So what I'll do is I'll just read it again, see how far we get into today. But I'm not going to mention much, just some points. And then if you want to have it more elaborated more, you can either shoot me some, messages, or you can review the classes, because I went into a lot of detail throughout this article. Okay, so first paragraph. Imagine if the whole world practiced meditation, if everybody in the world had the opportunity to get to know their mind, to clearly perceive the wholesome mental qualities that need to be adopted, nurtured, and perfected, as well as the unwholesome mental afflictions that need to be relinquished and eradicated, and then implemented the invaluable meditation methods taught by the Buddha. I think that you may agree that all wars and conflicts would be pacified, and peace and understanding would pervade the world. As His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, if every 8-year-old in the world is taught meditation, we will eliminate violence from the world within 1 generation. Of course, this is some idealistic thinking, but wouldn't that be wonderful? We can be idealistic. This idealistic, this word, is only put in a negative light by bad guys or people that don't want to think that they can do better, want to, remain deluded. I'm not saying everybody like that. I think some people probably say it just by habit. But think about that, we want peace and we want understanding, we want harmony in the world. We don't want these wars, these crazy wars, ones that they're all started by human beings. There on occasions, maybe some people are defending themselves because of other bad guys. Like for instance, I don't take sides on anything, but the US and Israel attacking some countries unprovoked. This is dreadful. It's not the first time this has happened. It continues to happen, unfortunately. But imagine if in those countries, any country, if more of the population practiced meditation correctly, absorb their mind with goodness, realize the wrongs in being violent and hurting others, even if you turn your back on it, you're just doing it. You know, like the people that give the orders, they're not actually killing people, but they're responsible for the killing of so many people. But imagine even if these guys, probably too far gone they are actually to think about doing meditation. But imagine if these guys practice meditation, they would slow down, at very least they would slow down their decisions to be violent, their choices to be violent. So, you know, I don't like to talk about stuff like that, and I don't know about it too much. And there may be a little bit here and there that I may read, but I don't really look at the news. I think a lot of the news is run by big business. Well, it is big business, actually. And then, of course, you know, then there's sort of politicians involved and corruption involved. And so I think what we're told in the news, a lot of it is just, you know, they have an agenda, you know. But there are some good news stations, maybe some independent journalists out there that are quite good and actually give honest information, at least try to. Unfortunately, these guys quite often get sued by these big businesses, and the people in power get dragged through courts. Even they are innocent, but they don't have the money to defend themselves, so they have to back out. You know, this is really bad. So I don't mean to be like so negative, you know, with the commentary today, but by pointing these things out, I think you can see if everybody or all the children or even these adults practice meditation, there would be less violence, less choices to have a war, to be aggressive. It really is about ownership and power. But if you meditation, realize, this greed, this chasing after power and physical land and petrol and things like that actually is negative. There's a possibility that they would not do it. So I just wanted to point it out like that, and maybe expressing it in this way shows what such a contrast that would be from violence to peace. It's actually really, once again, I'll go towards the end of the article. It's simple. It's the natural way. It's uncomplicated. What's complicated and unsimple and unnatural is violence. Is people hurting other people and so on. In this way, you can say human beings are not as good as other creatures. Even though we have vast, more consciousness and open consciousness, I should say, being able to even practice Dharma to attain enlightenment or different stages along the path. But, so we have a choice, right? We know what is good. We have the ability to know what is good and what is bad and make a choice to practice good. But so many make a choice to practice bad, and it becomes a habit. And so the animals, even like those ones that are actually, you know, eating other creatures, they're doing for survival. You don't see like a lion in Africa attacking other creatures unless it's hungry or it's got to feed its babies. They're actually hanging out near the water holes together until it's hunger time, you know. So I don't know if you've seen the movies, The Hunger Games. I have actually, and I looked at it from a more of a psychology point of view. And the world is kind of like those games these days. It's they're all fiction, but still, you know. All right, so that was heavy duty examples, whatever I'm giving. But like I said, I wanted to give you a big contrast from what is happening to what can happen if we practice meditation. I think I've covered the whole thing there, okay? The next bit says, in fact, I'm sure I have. I mentioned things, you know, what to be adopted, or the good things, you know, what to be relinquished, eradicated, the bad things. You know, you're using different language, more simple language. Yeah. We all want peace. Only 6 minutes. We all want peace and happiness and want to avoid conflict and suffering. But we need to understand the causes of peace and happiness and adopt and practice them. We also need to understand the causes of conflict and suffering and abandon and eradicate them. This way, we will achieve our goal. So deep down, we all do want this peace and happiness, even if a lot of people are, you know, deluded into thinking, you know, confused mind into thinking that they want something else, you know. We all do really want peace and happiness. So this is obviously talking about the law of karma. You want happiness, have to cause it. You want to avoid suffering, have to avoid causing it. You want to realize enlightenment, you have to make the causes along the path to eventually realize enlightenment. To practice the bodhicitta, to realize the supreme wisdom and unify them and perfect them, which is enlightenment. So I'll keep going with the article. Everything begins in the mind. Of course, that's, you know, what I'd said actually begun in my mind when I wrote it down years ago. But I'd already thought about it because the Buddha said that, right? But I recognize it in the mind. Okay. So everything begins in the mind. All things are constructs of the mind. We are what we think. Thinking, acting, and speaking with a pure mind leads to positive results. Thinking, acting, and speaking with an impure mind leads to negative results. And when a pebble is thrown into a pond, the ripples that are created cover all parts of the pond. Likewise, every thought, action, and word affects everything. So once again, talking about the law of karma, talk about we want peace, we want happiness, must cause it. Want to avoid suffering, must avoid causing it, just like before. Peace must firstly be developed internally in our own mind and then expressed outwardly through our actions and words. We must live by example, thinking, acting, and speaking with the motivation to cause and maintain peace, harmony, and understanding. Then peace can be caused and realized, and the lack of peace can be overcome. So we must each take responsibility individually, and then smaller groups, larger groups, and so on. I know there's lots of people that are protesting, and in some places they're trying to limit the protesting of the people. I say to the people that want to protest peacefully, then do so peacefully. You want to protest against such things as war and so on, then do it, but do it peacefully. If it ends up that you be arrested for peacefully protesting, then actually the law is wrong. The system is wrong. In fact, in one state in Australia, they brought in these anti-protesting laws, actually had been proven in the courts and overturned, proven to be wrong and unlawful. So if you want to gather in public like that, then do so, but do so peacefully. Lead by example. That's really important to know that and to do that. Okay. The Buddha Dharma clearly teaches morality and the path to peace. Buddhist meditation is grounded in morality and leads to the realization of genuine wisdom and compassion. But if we live contrary to these teachings, then genuine peace based on true wisdom and compassion can never be individually or collectively realized. I think that's pretty clear, isn't it? You know, the three trainings they have mentioned there: morality, sila, meditation, dhyana or bhavana, and wisdom or insight, prajna. So the three higher trainings, of course, relate to the Eightfold Path, so the Buddhist path. So this meditation is grounded in morality and leads to the realization of genuine wisdom and, of course, compassion as well. So I think that's that one covered. To calm our mind, first we must live morally and therefore be free of regret and guilt. A mind free of regret and guilt is more conducive to and ripe for the practice of meditation, which enables us to develop genuine insight into the nature of our mind and the nature of reality. And we leave it there because I know we're under a minute. But also, once again, that one, not my computer. That one also mentions the three higher trainings, that paragraph. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's class. I started up front by wishing everybody Happy New Year again. And so please look after your mind and your body. Rejoice in your meritorious goodness always. Be peaceful, cause peace. Be happy, cause happiness. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo